We did get the green light. I guess this is it. Okay, we're going to get started in a minute. People take their seats. You notice we've got all sorts of new things. We've got a teleprompter in case I want to do an acceptance speech for something. And then, but we've also got these lights at the back, which are kind of cool. So when John's got everything set up, it'll do green. He also told me he can shut us down at 10:30. So I said, please. But he's got all sorts of stuff back there now. So I see the light saying we can start, so let's start. Welcome to everybody. And I'd like to start, like I did last time, with 60 seconds for a moment of silence. I think, as I said last time, it's probably more important than ever that we give ourselves that little bit of space. If you've lost somebody that you love this week, for instance, or anybody you want to honor, or just think about something in the world that you'd like to focus on and send some energy, prayers. So let's go ahead and have that moment. Okay. I would like to now call to order the Residents Association Board meeting. It's May 8, 2025. Meeting called to order. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And everybody's probably had a chance to look at the minutes from April 10th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from last time? Second? All right. Does anybody object to us approving it? All right, the minutes are approved from last month. And now Marie is going to do the treasurer's financial report.
Is this it's on? Okay. We began the month of April with $38,402. We had income from the course of $510, wood shop $70, and interest $775. And we spent $800 as a thank you gift to Mark Green for what he did for the chorus group, leaving a balance of $38,190. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
Now let's have the executive director's announcement, Scott Cairns. And you notice how he's dressed today.
Today is, well, this is Team Member Appreciation Week, and today is Tropical Day, so it's one of the most tropical things I have, which is pretty tropical. Some hiring updates. Culinary has made some great progress, especially in the cooks area. 1 or 2 have been promoted from within, and then a couple have been hired from outside of our community. So they are being brought up to speed now. Our Director of Nursing, Lisa Peterson, this is her last week with us. She is transferring to Azalea Trace, one of our sister communities in Pensacola. She's going to be their administrator, so she's being promoted, which is wonderful. We have hired and are onboarding a new Director of Nursing, and we hope she's able to start by the end of this month, so end of May. She comes with a lot of experience and has been referred by several people we know in the business, so we're excited to onboard her and welcome her. Some more to come about her in the future. The Ask the Director meeting will be taking place next Tuesday. So you've probably all sent in your questions. I'm putting together answers, and we'll meet with the group on Tuesday. There won't be a forum this month, as we will have a resident quarterly town hall on May 20th at 10 a.m. And the topic is the 2024 ACTS annual report. So we'll have a speaker here going over the annual report. Likely a video will go out in advance for you to watch if you would like. We'll also show the video here. A bit of excitement took place over the past week with weather, serious weather event, and an unwelcomed intruder on our property. I put updates on both of them in the link. Free to ask more questions. It's a work in progress with the intruder. We're going to look at different camera systems. We do have a camera. I could see him walking through on the sidewalk, but it doesn't, unless you're watching the screen, it doesn't alert you. But we're thinking we're going to try to get a system that beeps, especially at the exits and entrance, that not for cars, but for people. And I know they're out there, so special systems. So we're going to be looking at that and some other opportunities for increased safety. Any other questions about that right now? Expect some weather this weekend or today into the weekend. Just keep your weather. If I would do the weather alerts like I have on my phone, although it didn't come out because the National Weather Service didn't issue a tornado watch or warning. It just happened, so that can happen as well, but let's always be prepared. They do a pretty good job of letting us know. I do plan on having my contact with the local Hall County Emergency Management come and speak at a forum in the future, probably June if he's able to. I just think it'll be good to talk with him, especially going into hurricane season, ask questions, etc. Vicki and Tammy are working hard to get the resident CPR class rescheduled. We're shooting for June for a resident CPR class, so we will put out a notice, make sure that we follow up notice because we did a poor job last time. Team Member Appreciation Week, I mentioned that. There's been a lot of fun days, a lot of snacks, food truck today. So part of the Oak Ridge Terrace parking lot is blocked off for a food truck. So that's great stuff. May 15th is the deadline for team members to apply for scholarships through the Labor Team Member Scholarship Fund. We've already got about 7 that have applied, and I hope to get as many as 10. So that's a wonderful opportunity for them to continue their education and move up with us. We don't want to educate them and then have them move on. We want to keep them. A new community technologist, Ethan, has started. He started on Monday. He's doing a lot of onboarding right now, but we think he's going to be a great addition to our team. He was a sanitation worker years ago, and he's got a great heart. He's got the skills, he's got the education, but I look for the heart when I'm hiring in our business. You can't teach the heart. You can teach skills and teach tasks. And he's got the heart that we need. They as in Jeremiah and Ethan, will be relocating in the very near future to an office just down the hall here, which kind of had been being used as storage. We think it's more centrally located, and it's good space for both of them to be able to utilize. So that's going to be good. Please continue to reach out to me, obviously. You know how to get a hold of me. And happy Mother's Day to all of you ladies. Regardless if you have children or not, there have been so many opportunities for all of you to be a motherly figure in someone's life, and I'm just so thankful for it. I've got an amazing mother and an amazing wife that's a mother, so I just, not a better day in my mind to celebrate all of you for all you've done for so many people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. I'm going to make a few comments, as I always do, to add to what we've talked about with appreciative inquiry. You'll be experts in this by the end of the year. But I want you to think about 2 concepts this morning. When we start with looking at what's working and what's right in the world, it can unleash our energy to fix what's wrong. Now, I know I have said before, we don't start looking for what's wrong, we start looking for what's working. It then unleashes some energy to fix what's wrong, and we can be more purposeful then when we prioritize what we need to fix, because otherwise it's endless, isn't it? So that can help you focus that. A second concept is changing just one word in a phrase can lead to a shift in how we approach our lives. And this, I'm not talking about what happens when you type something and spell check changes it, which is so annoying, but this is if you, on purpose, shift a word. From being the best in the world to being the best for the world. I mean, when we're younger, there's a lot of competition. We think, oh, I'm going to strive, whatever we're doing in our career or anything, we strive to be, oh, wouldn't it be great if I could be the best in the world, like these Olympic athletes or something? And we strive for some of that. As we get older, there's an opportunity to shift that. If you change the word from best in to best for, it changes our approach to an attitude of service and grace. If you think of what we could accomplish here in this community, if we strive to find our own way of contributing. It's one thing to always say, I want to make a difference in the world. And the nuance there is, somebody has to notice that for you to know you've made a difference and reward you or comment on it. Now, you're dependent on somebody else to say if you made a difference. You can know in your heart you probably have, but the subtle thing there is, if you strive to make a contribution and be the best for the world, that's an act of giving. And I see a lot of that here in this community. And I think if we could just get this energy together to do even more as a community, to focus on how do we continue to make this the best place to live, it would just be amazing. I really believe that. I plan to show a video later sometime this year, and I'll give you details when I've got it set up. But there's a video that I used to use in leadership development, and it has a lot of these concepts about appreciative inquiry, being the best for the world, and I'm going to show it, and then we can have some conversation afterwards, because all I get to do here is a minute or two, right? And it'd be helpful to see how can you use these concepts in a practical way in the world and see that demonstrated. So I'll let you know about that if you have any interest. We will start now with the committee reports. CW for bylaws.
And good morning to everyone. And I am C.W. Marlowe, Bylaw Committee. And the executive committee, the board, the Residents Association Executive Committee, and the Retired Treasurers Incorporated Executive Committee met, and they agreed to do away with the agreement that they had passed earlier, or actually last year on that. So we discussed that, and this will guide us in our review of the bylaws regarding the Retired Treasurers Incorporated and their input. We had a request to consider the number of district meetings, and the bylaws require 4 district meetings per year, and the request was made that be reduced. And we will propose, and that will come to the board and then to the residents at the annual meeting, but we're proposing that will be 2 meetings a year instead of 4. It'll be required. Now that doesn't mean you're limited to 2. You can have it, and I know of one floor that has 12 and that you can have as many as you want to, but you still need to have 2 floor meetings a year on that. We considered the procedure for filling the position of immediate past president on the executive committee in the event that that position is vacant. And we decided not to change we will not propose, we can't change anything. We will not propose that there be any change in that. The next meeting, the next bylaw committee meeting is going to be June the 18th. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, CW. Culinary, Judy Glee.
Good morning. This is a report of the Culinary Committee that met yesterday, and hopefully you've all registered for the Mother's Day brunch. We're going to have a nice prime rib carving station, and takeout will be available in the bistro. We've been working for some time to make sure the Mountain View temperature is comfortable for everyone, and we've now locked all the air conditioning controls throughout the Mountain View rooms, except the one in the front room. There's a piece of marble molding that maintenance needs to remove, and then that one will be locked. And the culinary managers are checking the temperatures in all the rooms prior to the dinner service. We're working on a smoother process for rolling out the new menus rather than surprising you with them. We thought maybe we would post the changes at least a week in advance, so you have plenty of time to give us input if there's something you're missing. We're changing to using the fruit containers, fruit bowls for lunch. One of our problems is that we're getting reports that we're running out of fruit for dinner, and we think if we haven't lowered the amount we're ordering, but we have noticed that some people ask for the large containers and fill it with fruit, and we think if we use the bowls, we might have enough fruit to make it through the dinner hour. So work with us on that. We're also working on reducing the ticket wait times in the bistro. We're training the staff to be more efficient in serving you, and then cross-training other staff to be of assistance. We're looking for new ways. We all know how crowded the bistro is at night at the dinner hour. And so we're looking for new ways to encourage people to come up and eat in the Mountain View dining room. We're going to begin offering specials that are only available in Mountain View, not available in the bistro, to see if that can encourage some people to come upstairs, and that will help with the overcrowding in the bistro. The reservations app has been changed to autofill a resident's name and email, just to make it a little more convenient for you, less you have to fill out. We have a new culinary education program. It's in-house and online, and it will be required for all new hires in the kitchen. The program was purchased by the Axe Legacy Foundation, and it's offered at no cost to students. All new hire cooks will have to complete the first course. It's a 40-hour course, and they have to complete that before starting in the kitchen. It's very basic kitchen techniques. Then they must complete the second course within the year they start. Current cooks are going to start with the second course, and they have 1 year to complete that. The program is accredited by the American Culinary Federation, and it provides credit hours that can be transferred to any culinary school. So that's a really good thing for our culinary department. We appreciate the input that you continue to give on our comment cards. The newer card, which is blue, will continue to be used for the next month to be sure we've obtained adequate resident input before we say this is our final card. We've put in any changes that are recommended. The 3 boxes for the cards are in the process of being updated. They're being painted and decorated to be easier for residents to locate. The boxes are located, as you know, I hope, in the bistro, outside the reservations area at Mountain View, and outside the other side of Mountain View where you sign in for brunch. If a box is missing because it's being rehabbed, please take your blue card and put it in one of the other boxes, because your comments are very helpful to culinary. Our next meeting will be on June the 4th, and we'd love to have you attend and give us comments in person. That's what we're there for. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Housekeeping, Pam Ellis.
Hello. Our last housekeeping meeting, is there feedback? There has been.
You're okay.
Our last housekeeping meeting was Tuesday, April the 29th, and committee members present were me and Carol W. Brown, Ginger Malice, Judy Scruton, Harriet Beach, and Sandy McCrae, and staff was Scott, Lupe, and Manuel. And we had a visitor, Asden, came to see us. There have been a number of compliments from residents regarding bed making. So the training is helping. A lot of residents have chosen to switch out, particularly in apartments, I'm not sure about cottages, but to swap one of the other services and have their bed made. And what we've learned is everybody's very particular about how they want their bed made. So what we advise is to communicate by email to Lupe and also to the housekeeping team. The housekeeping team, when they come around, has like a spreadsheet of all of the apartments for that day, and they note various things out to the side, various preferences. So you can communicate all sorts of things to them and make sure that it's written down next to your name so that each time they come, they know to put, you know, the darker part of the bedspread at the pillow end or whatever, or anything else. It was also brought up about residents have preferences as to which door lock they want left locked. A lot of people, you know, it's all these little things in our lives that I hear about. Most people, I mean, a lot of people want just the top lock locked. That's what I like. But there are people who want just the bottom lock locked. So you can communicate this to be added to that list if you like. The housekeepers try to leave the door as they found it, you know, to lock the lock that was locked when they came in. But they have so many apartments that you can imagine after you've cleaned the apartment, oh wait, was it the top or the bottom? What was suggested and what I have done on mine, if you use only the top lock, you can put tape over that little button that's on the handle on the inside of your door to keep anyone from locking it and then pulling the door shut without having to use a key. So I thought that was a handy little tip. Let's see, our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 27th at 1:30 in the meeting room right down the hall. We have a couple of housekeeping tips that we've come up with. When you use your shower following your biweekly cleaning, check the way the shower head is pointed before you turn on the water. And also a reminder, please break down cardboard boxes that you take to the recycling room. If they're not broken down, the housekeeper, the floor, building housekeeper, like Adriana in West, she has to do it. So if you're unable to do it, ask for help. Like, I'm glad to help break down boxes, and there's lots of people that are. Also, no pizza boxes, please, in the cardboard recycling. We're still seeing those. If you don't leave dishes in your sink, the sink will get cleaned well. Okay. And what some people didn't know that we communicated, the cleaning of glass tabletops is a fee-for-service job. So you would put that on the fee-for-service, in the fee-for-service binder in the communication room. Okay, any questions?
Hey,
Yeah.
pizza boxes, yes or no?
Or just repeat the question.
Oh, no. Robert asked, pizza boxes. Do not put pizza boxes in the cardboard recycling. Sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Thank you, Pam. Landscaping, Carol Ann Armstrong.
Good morning. We met yesterday afternoon and had a very good meeting, and I think the campus is still looking lovely, and we're still blessed with rain, which is a good thing, because the irrigation audit is finished, and there were minor problems campus-wide, but Stephen said the East Cottages were a disaster, that 30% of that was not working. But they're working on it. And in the meantime, we're having rain every few days, so be thankful for that. Stephen also is going to change the work order procedure. He wants to do away with the landscape book in the communications room and have one work order and, you know, put either maintenance, landscape, or IT. And he says that he hopes most of those can be completed within a week. So we'll see how the new system works. The landscaping in front of the west portico is supposed to be replaced next week. The memory garden path, they are considering putting some smaller material and compact in that and trying that out with rollators. The fountain in the memory garden still has problems, but David McCarroll is keeping it running, and that will be something we will address in the future. The train garden is great. The fountains are working, they're running the trains, it looks good. It's going to have some additional landscaping put in this week. And then there are going to be some new benches in there when Stephen gets the plaques for them. The landscaping below the bistro wall has been removed, and it looks better than it did with those overgrown junipers. If you walk by there, it's got pine straw on it. The azaleas are in the process of being fertilized and pruned, and they're going to be 4 or 5 replaced where some have died, but they have really come back from the freeze of 22 this year. So that's good. Any questions?
Carol Ann,
Yes.
on microphone. Mr. Anderson and the change of how we do work orders, Are they gonna change the K4 opportunities and combine or redesign, and what's the timetable?
He said it was gonna be done yesterday.
I'll look into that, and we'll communicate it in the link, what the change is gonna be for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to just say one thing. Cindy and I have been walking outside now for the first time in a while, and the grounds really look nice. And we were the OU and the new landscapers and whoever a big thank you, because you just have to really, as they say, sniff the roses, and it really looks nice out there.
Well, I feel like they're doing a good job. I just nag. That's my job, just to walk around
And you do it real well too, Carol.
and see things that need to be done. But they are very good at a meeting about taking detailed notes. And sometimes I've sent out the agenda, and before the meeting, they've already taken care of things.
That's
So
good.
that's good.
It's real good.
Any other questions?
Okay, legislative issues. We've got Augie, the Augustina's here today to do a presentation about the GDOT plans for the Thompson Bridge Improvement Project.
Good morning. Dick Bergen is unavailable today, and I just wanted to report for legislative issues that we held a meeting back on April 28th, and our guest speaker at that meeting was our state representative, Lee Hawkins. Also in attendance was our Hall County District 2 Commissioner, Billy Powell, along with our executive director, Scott, and Tammy Stith from Willowbrook were in attendance. It was a good meeting, and as you are all aware by now, because you've all seen the letter that was put in your in-house mailboxes about this proposed road improvement program. The Thompson Bridge Road, which is State Road 60, is slated for major improvement going from basically Southers Road. If you don't know where that is, it's just right across from Kroger next door, going northward up through Maryville. And I am going to just give you a quick overview of what this road improvement program is going to cover here. And on this first photo that you see on the far left of the screen, that's where it's going to begin, just down basically in front of the Kroger shopping center. And then the first intersection that's really impacted is going to be our intersection right out front, Thompson Bridge Road and Price Roads. I'm going to come back to that in just a minute, because for us, this is the most important part of the project. So then we all know that going northward, that Thompson Bridge Road goes from 4-lane, and then there's a kind of a funnel effect as it goes down to 2-lane all the way up through Murrayville. Well, that is going to be changed to a divided 4-lane highway all the way up through Murrayville. So here, as the road goes northward, it goes over that skinny portion of the lake. Next slide. Next slide. Goes over and then goes up. And on the far right of that picture, you can see that's where Lanier Elementary is, and everybody knows where that school is if they've been hit by that school zone at the end of the day. And then next slide. And then then you'll hit the first roundabout by Elrod Road, where Elrod comes into Thompson Bridge. That is going to be turned into a roundabout. And then as you continue north from there, there's everybody's favorite landmark in Hall County, the chicken plant. And you'll go by that, and then you hit the second roundabout that's going to be installed. Next slide. And then right after that, there's the third roundabout, which is Old Dahlonega Highway, which people may or may not be familiar with, but it's a pretty busy road as it just gives you a different route to get up towards Dahlonega. And then as the road goes up by Yellow Creek Road, which is kind of comes off of Thompson Bridge at a angle to the left, from that point it'll narrow back down to a 2-lane highway, which will continue on up to State Road 400. So this is a close-up view of our major point of interest. This is the DOT's proposed design for this intersection, Price Road and Thompson Bridge. And what you'll notice on there is that, actually you don't even have to look at the picture. If you have ever gone out of our exit and decided to go straight, you already know that that intersection is misaligned. Okay, Price Road going straight off of Price Road coming into Lanier Village is not so much the problem. Going from Lanier Village over to go straight on Price Road, if you go straight, you're going to hit that concrete island out in front of CVS. So that really needs some attention, especially considering nothing disparaging here, but the average age here is 84 years old. And as we age, our reflexes are less, our vision starts to deteriorate, and our peripheral vision especially becomes less and less. So it becomes real important that we have a safe intersection to go through. So one of the things that we are asking the DOT to consider is to put dedicated left turn lanes on Price Road heading eastbound, in other words, coming into Lanier Village, and also coming out of Lanier Village, that we get a dedicated left turn lane going southbound onto Thompson Bridge. Right now, if somebody's on Price Road and they don't have their blinker on, you don't know if they're going straight or turning left. Great opportunity for an accident. And the other big problem that we have with this intersection are people they know that going northbound in front of Kroger, they know as soon as they get through the light, that road is going to get down to the 2 lanes, and they want to be first in line. So what do? They speed up as they come to that top of the hill, then they see the light change too late, and oftentimes they'll go blowing through it after it's already red. Again, with slow reactions and lack of peripheral vision, we have had many a resident have an accident out there. So we want to have that issue addressed also by putting up a blinking light at the top of the hill. I know that wasn't listed on one of these, on this remark sheet, but the big thing is getting the left turn lanes in. Now I want to stress, on the link, the LVE link, and if you missed it this week, it'll be out again next week. There is a link on there that says click here, and it takes you to an online form for public comment. Please put in your comments, fill out the form the best you can. You don't have to fill out everything on it, but in your comments, make sure that you address the safety of this intersection and that we want to see a dedicated left turn lanes installed on Price Road and coming out of Lanier Village. If you don't know how to get or don't have a computer to access this online, at the front desk, there is a supply of paper copy comment forms. If you will fill that in and then take it back and drop it off at the front desk, I will gather them all and get them submitted to the DOT. The deadline on this is May 23rd. That closes the window on public comment. Now this is why it's so important that we all participate and get public comment in. The DOT will react to large public input, and they don't want to overlook, especially if that large public input focuses on a safety issue, and in this case, we've got a legitimate safety issue out there. So we need everybody to participate, fill in a paper comment form, or do it online, but please get something in before May 23rd. That message I had in the link will be back out in the link again Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So you'll have another opportunity. So with that, I know I have a question right over here.
Yes, on that dedicated left turn lane, I think it's really important also to put a signaled left turn lane. I know I lived down in Oakwood, and there was a left turn lane onto H.F. Reed Parkway that goes over to 400, and not 400, 385, but it didn't have an arrow. You know, you sat in the lane, and you still just got a green light, and of course, all the, you know, it was not good at all.
So actually, that's a really good question, and that would be a really nice addition if they would put in a dedicated left turn arrow. But what I found out from the DOT is that, like, there's two standards here. They can put in a left turn lane and not put in an arrow. There's a threshold of traffic that goes through the intersection that has to be met before a left turn arrow can be put in. Now, the one thing that you saw on a letter that went out that is going to be a big concern for us in the coming years is all the additional traffic that's going to be coming out of that development behind CVS. There are 185 townhomes, 225 apartments have already been built, and there's another 200 homes that have been approved just a half mile from that intersection. And then you've got all the commercial traffic from Publix and the outlying shops that are going in, and we estimate it's going to be between 5,000 and 6,000 additional car trips per day coming through that intersection. Now that very well may trigger that the need for that left turn arrow, but we need to get the left turn lanes in first. Yes, ma'am. Can you use a microphone?
Well, I could, no.
No, the people in the apartments can't hear you from where you're standing.
It's not to be lazy, but I'm wondering if there's any way that you could write up these points that we can then write them ourselves in there, because I think that's going to stop people from not, you know, putting in an opinion, because these are quite a few things. And
well, that letter that went to all mailboxes on Sunday, it's got six bullet points on there, and you can feel free to choose from any or all of them to incorporate them in your comment. And if you don't have this letter, there's extra copies up at the front desk, along with
so that covers everything that we've, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, okay, Scott wanted me to just touch briefly on, I put a request in with the Hall County Sheriff's Department on the number of accidents that have occurred at this intersection. And the records on computer only go back to 2018, but since 2018, there have been just under 150 accidents or incidents, so not all with injuries, so that includes accidents without injuries. But I think we all know somebody in our community that has gone to the hospital because they've had an accident out front. But there's almost 150 accidents just since 2018. And it's only going to, those numbers are only going to go up with all the addition of this new traffic that's going to be coming through there. So, thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you, Augie. That was helpful. And I will just second that it's really important we get, if every resident here is able to do so, either a written in or online, that would be great. Life engagement, Karen Harden.
Hello, good morning. I don't know if y'all went to the Fun Easter Mixer where we had the People's Choice Award. We had some really great peep dioramas. Our Maria, the hairdresser, she won #1, in case y'all didn't know. And I won #2. Sandy McCrae and Judy Newsom won #3, and Justine was #4 with her clever diorama. And we also had a really fun Kentucky Derby. And if you didn't join, you missed a good one. And from the list, you might have noticed from the list of events from last time that we canceled the Women's Wellness Weekend. There were some issues with some speakers that they had to cancel. So Justine's working on that to see maybe October to move it to that. And we have a lot of trips planned that we just didn't get on the agenda because Vicki just got back and she was catching up. So I was just going to name a few here that we have already. The drivers, that's what's the holdup is a lot of times, is who can drive to the trips. But we have on here dinner at Aqua Terra in Beaufort. We have Atlanta Young Singers at the church at Ponce and Highland. We have afternoon wine tasting in Montelucci, and mini golf at the Oaks on McEver Road. So those are things we're working on coming up. So are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Maintenance and safety, Herb Paul.
Maintenance and Safety Committee met the first Thursday of this month, the 1st of May, and I'm going to go over 3 or 4 items that were up. The first one is the spraying of the ceiling in the overhead parking in West. East has been finished. West is working right now, and I hope that you noticed the note in the link that said, please move your car on a specific day, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of this week. I had looked yesterday when they were doing it, and there were still 4 or 5 cars in one overhead parking area. And what it does is it slows them down, first of all, but secondly, they have to do a lot of action just to take care of the specific area where the car is. And they can't get the under pavement area where the car is parked, because otherwise they're spraying the car underneath it. So please, if you haven't moved it, please move it, and that will help them and will help us get it done properly. The second thing I'd like to talk about is the moving of the car wash. It has been done. It has taken place. One of the big things that takes place now is that the car wash area is now available for parking for various vehicles, both moving vehicles that come in periodically or for our own private vehicles. So that's taken place, and I've been hearing from several people who have actually used the new car wash area and have said that it was a really good job. So we appreciate what happened, and hopefully that'll ease the task of washing the vehicles. The next item I'd like to cover is the clubhouse area. The Capital Improvement Committee had a big project to repaint it and to do some fixes in the various areas in the clubhouse, and also replace the furniture. Most of the furniture has been replaced. They are still waiting on a couple of couches to come in so they can finish off that project. But it really makes the clubhouse area look much better. The next item I'd like to talk about is you will recall that about a year ago we had a fire alarm go off in West. That fire alarm indicated that people did not have a good evacuation plan. For this past year, both the fire department and ACTS and the local people have been working on improving that fire evacuation plan. That has now been completed, and they have had a couple meetings with residents to go over the plan, and they will still have a fire drill coming up soon that will indicate what we need to do. So please, if you haven't already looked at your fire drill evacuation plan, please do that. The last thing I'd like to mention, the bench has been replaced at the end of West Sidewalk, and it looks very nice, and it is very nice. And we thank everybody for taking the time to take that and replace that area. Our next meeting will be the first Thursday in June. And are there any questions? Yes.
August will be 2 years that I'm here, but I just heard somebody mention when they do the fire drill thing, somebody told me if there's a tornado, where you say where you're supposed to go, or if there's an earthquake, there's a different spot where you're supposed to go. I didn't know if they could, tell people that at the same time. Because I heard you're supposed to go in the hall if there's a tornado, and you're supposed to go on the stairwells if there's an earthquake. I don't know if that's true, but are you familiar with that? Or
you should be in the hallway or in the stairwell, but mainly in the stairwell, because that's the biggest area that you can go to that gives you the most protection.
Furthest away from windows, even if it's
Yeah.
in your apartment or cottage, just one of the rooms that's furthest away from windows with walls around it.
Yeah.
Earthquake, I'm not sure of. I hadn't heard about that, but.
We have a big fault in North Georgia.
Any other questions? Okay, our next meeting is the first Thursday, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Memorials, Aston Johnson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have some memorial benches that have been ordered. We finally got a price on them. The 6-foot bench is $16.50. The 4-foot bench is $14.50, and the plaques are $125 each to go on them. We have already paid for one that will go. Jack Deegan has bought the one of them in the Bistro Garden in memory of his wife Dot. She's the one that kind of started the croquet events out there, and so that's an appropriate place for that. Vicki Nichols has ordered a bench for Charlie, and that will be the one that's going in the train garden. It's a 6-foot bench, and in memory of Charlie. Charlotte Copper has ordered a plaque to go on the bench that Bob Copper had ordered for his first wife in their little cul-de-sac. So we're getting some action there. We do have some new benches, like Herb was saying, the one outside of West. It's available for a plaque if anybody wants to buy that bench and put a plaque on it. There's one off of Misty Morning Way that I think a lot of the people, when they have a fire drill, go and use. That would be available also. And it was mentioned at our meeting that if someone wants to buy a bench, that 2 people can go together. We can put a plaque on each end. But we would like to slowly replace the wooden benches, if that's possible. The wooden benches take a lot of upkeep, and they slowly deteriorate. We're getting some more action on our Grove of Remembered Leaves. Many of the residents here realize that some of their friends have passed and that there's no one that can put a leaf up. So we have some orders from some of you that have bought a leaf for a friend, and that's a wonderful idea. Other than that, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Aston. Retired Treasurer's Special Projects Report, Don Langen.
Good morning.
Morning.
The first thing I'd like to do is show everyone some new signs we just purchased for, 3 for inside the building and then 1 outside. This has the new Retired Treasurers Incorporated logo. I think these really turned out nice. Very pleased with them. First of all, I'll go through financials, and this is just for the first quarter because our general manager of Retired Treasurers is spending some time in Europe. For the sales in Retired Treasurers resale shop totaled $13,517 for the first quarter. And that was $4,996 in the shop. Consignment sales were an amazing number, $5,958. And that's mainly due to Caroline Mixon with her fur sales, fur donations and then sales. And then apartment and cottage sales were $1,807. And smaller amounts in the arts and crafts shop and the fashion show. But the total was $13,517. Special Projects has money at the North Georgia Community Foundation totaling $63,330. And we had a checking account balance of $3,100 at the end of March. And LVE Retired Treasurers, the corporation, at the end of the first quarter had $40,538 in their checking account, or in their account. The money, the corporation money, started going from Retired Treasurers to the corporation toward the end of last year when we were getting close to finalizing the incorporation. So anyway, total assets are $107,009. So we have a lot of money. We just need some requests to spend that money. So be thinking of some improvements. We had our second quarter meeting on April 17th. And under consideration were 3 requests for funding. The first one was a small amount from Becky Jackson. Marie Oakes already talked about that. the resident association donated $800 for the replacement accompanist. Pat Johnson retired. She had filled that position for many years. But Becky was asking for a supplement to the $800 that the resident association donated, and that was for $400. That was unanimously approved. The second request was from John Ross, surprisingly. This one was a no-brainer. It was $2,000 to fund the LVE link for this year. And we've been doing that for many years now. This request compensates an outside consultant who works for the link, and then it covers software and website expenses. One thing of interest, the link is sent to over 600 people every day. That includes residents and staff. The third request was, again, by John Ross. This was for $1,600 to replace an old laptop computer and to purchase a screen presenter. Mm-hmm. This is for speakers, and it's already been used several times. And also for some equipment to wirelessly connect this. Mm-hmm. And that was approved unanimously. But in addition to the 3 approved requests, we were aware that Campus Improvement is looking at replacing the draperies here in the auditorium. Those date back to, I think it's 2007, and they were, and we believe they were purchased by Special Projects. We know that $5,000 was spent, but not sure if it was for the curtain or for the draperies. And the other thing that Campus Improvement is looking at is replacing the stage curtain. And this is also a request by the AV staff. They would like to have a different curtain that doesn't require as much camera adjustment. Anyway, Kitty gave presentation on those 2 projects. And we expect those to come in sometime, maybe at the July meeting. Are there any questions?
I have one.
Okay.
What's the timetable on replacing the draperies and the curtain?
There isn't a time frame yet. We don't have, do we have quotes?
I can address that. Kitty will address that.
Kitty will address that.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And now from our administration committee's first campus improvement is going to be Kitty Marlowe today.
Morning. My partner in crime, Karen Cannon, is out of the country, so I'm reporting for us this morning. As Herb mentioned, we continue to expect delivery of 2 sofas for the clubhouse lobby. A bench is also on order, and it's on back order, so we're looking at similar options for that, but that would be in the clubhouse also. The seats on the 3 card table chairs were damaged in shipping, and so they have been removed for repairs. You've noticed the dining room chairs are back in that area, but they should come in about the time the sofas do, and we're looking for those any day, I believe. We're trying to move forward on the cushions at the back of the clubhouse lobby and also across from the Heritage Room. So we'll keep you updated on that. and the reupholstering of the red wing chairs in that single elevator lobby, just off the clubhouse lobby. Several things that we still have in the works. On Monday, we had plantation shutters installed in the window here in the crossroads. They're a clean, fresh look, and they were made possible by Special Projects Fund, so thank you, Special Projects, for that. The 3 sideboards in the Mountain View and Sydney's areas have new glass tops to protect those tops. And also we added glass to the center table in the clubhouse lobby. So thanks again to the allotment for campus improvements from Special Projects. I'll just touch on the remarkable removal sale, which took place last month. It was a huge, huge undertaking and was lots of fun, attended by a lot of people. I call them locusts because they just descended on us all of a sudden. People have said, when are they going to do that again? Because they love the prices. You know, you don't get furniture for that price very often. But that was a one-time thing as far as I know. Caroline, to address your question about this, we have been working on this for quite a number of months now. We would like, when the doors to the chapel are open, for the 2 areas to complement each other. We had a quote on the draperies, considering that we had these darker curtains. Now that we are going to do something different with these stage curtains, we're back to the drawing board. So I'm waiting on new samples of fabric to come from the Georgia Stage Company before I move ahead with another quote. So we're kind of in limbo, but I'm really trying to bring it together. Campus improvements does not meet on a regular basis. We just do as needed. And so if you have any questions or comments or things that you think we should look into, you can contact me or Karen, and we will try to take care of it. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Kitty. Is Jimmy Faulkner here today? Yep. Oh, I didn't see you. You're behind this podium. Okay, for Samaritan Fund.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to report to you on your Samaritans Fund Committee's activities. First, I'd like to thank you for your support of this year's Samaritans Fund Committee fundraising brunch. I want to first thank our outstanding committee members for their tremendous hard work and support. This is a great committee to work with, and I think you saw most all of them were working either helping out the servers, pouring a little champagne, and most other things. I also want to thank our executive director, Scott. He's been very supportive. He's a member of the committee, but he has been very supportive of the committee and attends all of our meetings. And thank you, Scott, for all your support that you have given our committee. And also to Chad and Linda and all our culinary staff, and especially our young people who served us so graciously and joyfully. And wasn't the food great? Probably the best filet I've had in a long, long time that you could cut it with a fork. But most of all, thank you to the residents for your great support of what we do with your attendance and your financial support for the LVE Samaritans Committee. We spent most of our May meeting reviewing the brunch, and as great as it was, we noted a few things that the committee plans to tweak just a little to make the 2026 brunch even more perfect and enjoyable. Now quickly, from the financial perspective, we sold 136 tickets that brought in $4,080. In addition, there were $1,715 in donations surrounding the brunch. I'm getting feedback too. Surrounding the brunch for a total amount to credit the Samaritan's Fund of $5,795. We meet every first Thursday of the month in the in the conference room in the administrative area. I welcome your suggestions, questions, or attendance if you'd like at the meeting. Are there any questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jimmy. All right, very good meeting. I need to now ask if there's any new business anybody wants to introduce that we consider next month. Questions, comments? I will make a comment. I was remiss in not welcoming, we have quite a few alternates here today, I think, for district reps. And if you just would raise your hand. I know this isn't Linda Askew right here, but just raise your hand if you're here as an alternate district rep today. Okay, good. Welcome. Welcome to you, and thank you for being here. And welcome to the district reps who are here. Welcome to the residents that come, and welcome to everybody who's watching on TV later. Thank you, and the meeting is adjourned. Well, only 10 minutes. Oh.